Hello, this is Brenda Gammons again. This is part 2 to what I did earlier. I'm going to talk to you guys. First of all, I wanted to clarify about my best friend Robert, my twin flame Robert. When he was in prison, he wasn't an inmate as I was. He was a teacher, and it's a long story, and I won't go into all of it, but he was hurt by an inmate, which was all covered up, and it's just a long story, and I'm not going to elaborate on that because things are still going on to do with that. But you guys, this is a time on the planet where the whole earth is ascending, and it's time for truth. And your truth might not be the same as my truth, and mine may not be the same as yours, but truth is who you truly are. And real quick, I wanted to tell Cynthia, I love you. Savannah, Jamie, there's so many of you kids. I can't even begin to think of all your names. And hello to all my family, my granddaughter Serena, my grandson Josiah, Isaac, Noe, Michaela, Weta, Sierra, Sophia, and little Samuel, and baby Mikey. You know, truth is growing up and learning to love yourself. And the beginning of loving oneself is learning to say no. And it's really hard to learn to say no. So many times in our life, we think by doing things for everybody else is love. Actually, it's part of love, but it's actually sometimes the farthest thing from true love. Loving oneself is when you can actually say no to doing favors for others and doing sometimes even for family when it's taking a toll on your mind, soul, and body. We've been taught from a very young age to love everybody. And again, I'll refer back to my life. Everything I speak about is my truth, something I've been through. So my truth may not be yours. So, you know, if you want to leave rude comments, that's fine. I'll just delete them. But what I've gone through and I've experienced doesn't mean that's what you're going to see, because I've learned no two people see the same thing. I don't care if we're in the same room and something happened. You will never explain it the way I will, because we will never see things the same. We are all one connected. We all come from Prime Creator, and we are all one. We're all here to do the same thing. We're all here to learn how to love and ascend. That's another whole thing. Ascension is a long process, and it takes many lifetimes, multiple lifetimes. I've learned about reincarnation, and I'm telling you, it is true. For me, it is true. I've seen parts of my past lives, and I've seen into the future, and I can see other people's past and into their future and to their present. But truth and love comes from when you have to say no. When you love somebody and you notice that the things that you're doing are not being appreciated, and not only that, being appreciated is something I never did things to be appreciated. I did it because I thought it came from my heart. But I started realizing that I wasn't happy doing those things for other people anymore. And what used to be pleasant and loving as I did them started to become a burden on me. And I started getting irritated, and I wasn't happy. And I started taking what was love and turning it into hate. I started hating doing those things, but I kept smiling like we all do in church. And, you know, not all, but most of us, we are happy in church, and we're this, oh, we love you, brother, and we love you, sister, and praise the Lord, and thank you, Jesus. And we always have this mentality of I need something outside myself, and I'm not good enough, and we got to keep doing and doing and doing and doing. Well, I'm telling you something. Until you start doing for yourself, you're going nowhere. No one is going to, actually, nobody was in the belly with you when you were in your mother's womb, unless you have a twin, triplet, or quadruplet, or quintuplet, or however you were conceived. And when you leave, I guarantee you this, you're not going with anybody else. You came in naked, and you're leaving naked with nothing. Nothing at all. So if people live to consume, and what they do is they do live to consume and see what they can create and build up their little fortress or their nest egg and their 401ks and all that. It's all an illusion, people, because most of these companies will be bankrupt by the time you would even grow old enough. And now you can't retire till you're, what, 99? It's ludicrous. But if you live to accumulate things and to please everybody else, you might as well just get a gun and put it to your head now, because you're never going to. If you're always looking for happiness outside yourself, you're not going to find it. Happiness, true happiness, comes from within. When you can sit around and be alone and be absolutely content. Like right now, I'm doing something. Robert's upstairs sleeping, and my job right now, not job, I'm actually given the blessing and the gift to be able to take care of this person who had taken care of so many people in his life, myself included, um, is resting. Most of the time he has to rest because his mind just does so much. He's never ever not worked in his life, and this last 6 years has taken a toll on him to the point to where he has been having multiple seizures. Um, Happiness is from within, guys, and hurtling insults and calling her this and calling him that, and he's a bitch and you're that bitch and this bitch and that bitch and fuck a motherfucker and yo this, yo that. You guys, that is so sad because all you're doing is calling yourself those things and you're really speaking what you are inside. So when you're calling other hoes and bitches, you are that hoe and bitch because you hate yourself. Because again, I'll bring it up. If you love yourself, you're going to express love. Love is going to exude from you. People are going to want to be around you. People are going to desire to be around you. People are going to want to hang with you. They're going on here. They're going to want to call you. They're going to want to look at you. They're going to want to hear you. Just to be in your presence is what they desire. Because when you're of love, you're of the Creator. And the Creator can only work in you when you are of love. And so true love is loving self. People want to get married. They think, okay, I'm going to grow up. I'm going to get married. And then I'm going to be happy. And then they get married and they're like, fuck, I didn't want to do this. This is awful. They can't get along. Well, how can you get along with someone when you don't even love yourself, number one? People say once they get married, they have this mindset, oh, their life is over. If you marry the right person, your life is just beginning. And then, the marriage doesn't work. So then they think, oh, I'm going to have a kid and we're going to be really happy. Well, I'm going to tell you something. If you were fighting before you have a kid, the kid's only going to cause, not the child, but you guys are only going to fight more because you were unhappy before you had the child. And now that you have the child, you know what? You're going to be even worse. Because again, you weren't happy within before you had brought another child into this world. And now you're responsible for this child's well-being. And let me tell you something. Being a parent is a hard thing because I have failed up miserably, thinking I did my best, and sometimes knowing I wasn't doing my best. And they don't give handbooks out on how to be a mother. And I'll tell you something. I've talked a lot about my mother, who is no longer with me, who is no longer here. Actually, my biological mother left when I was 3. My brother was ran over, and my dad took us. And it's a long story. So I had a stepmother who was a wonderful woman. I never realized that until I grew up and realized, oh my God, everything she said and did really was for my well-being. And so I had my own children, and my children, they don't like me either. I know they love, I can't even say they love me. I've been told that they love me, and Nicole, I believe you love me. Like me is a whole different thing, and I understand that. And again, Creator told me, Brenda, every time you made promises and you meant to do things, what were your intentions? And again, I've stopped beating myself on the head because my intentions are pure. And I wish I could just take a piece of me and spread myself everywhere, because it was a lot easier a couple years ago to be able to be in people's lives and try to make a difference. But now I can't. I'm in a place in my life where I'm really needed. And karma is real. What goes around comes around. And if you don't give back what you've been given, it's not going to be great. I'm just going to tell you. And if you've given out terrible crap, you're going to get exactly that back. And it won't be as nice as you think. It's going to be worse than what you dished it out. So, truth and love is so important. And I learned a lot of things. Like I said, when I was in prison, I watched a lot of people. And I seen a lot of hate. And I used to cry. I used to really cry to Creator. And I used to pray to be mean. I used to cry and say, God, why can't I be mean? I want to be mean. And I'm not going to mention names, but I used to ask God to be mean, like some people in my family. And I never understood why people would always call me crazy. I'm dingy, I'm this, I'm that. Well, I learned now it was because I never could conform to the world's ways. I was always different. And I did have supernatural abilities, not knowing that then. And I used to see things in other dimensions that people don't see. And I used to say I was from another planet. Well, finding out what I know now, we're all star beings. And we do come from our other star systems, and I won't get into all that either. But then again, that's my truth. Um, I've seen extraterrestrials. I've I'll even go as far as saying that I have been abducted. Um, I've had an encounter even here in my bedroom with ETs being in my room. And these are not hallucinations. These are not dreams. These are things that happen. And I hear things from other dimensions. I see things, and it's tricky. You have to be very careful because in the fourth dimension, it's very manipulative. And if you don't know how to read energy signatures, which that means to know what's coming at you. I mean, you can actually see a vision of Jesus Christ or Buddha or some other ascended masters and not even know that that's not even them. It's another being shape-shifting into that form to try to get you and manipulate you and elude you into, doing things and hearing things and saying things that you shouldn't. Um, I wanted to talk about the gangs most of all because I have a big concern about this. You kids are claiming neighborhoods, territories, north and south, and all this stuff. You're claiming land, first of all, that doesn't belong to anybody. This land belongs to every one of us. We all were put on this planet for a reason. And, killing somebody because he's from north or south or east and west and colors, and you're from wearing blue and you're sporting red and whatever, you weren't given the right. You were not creator to take a life, to jump other people. I have a big thing about more than one person fighting, and I think people who belong to gangs, to me, are very insecure and they're cowards, because a true man or a woman doesn't need any backup, because first of all, they don't create enemies. They consume love and they exhume love, and that's all they are, and they represent love. I don't have any enemies, and if I do, forgive me if I've done something to offend you, but I can't fix that. The only thing that can be done is you can fix the way you feel about me. And there's only one thing that not only one thing, but there's only one person you guys can control is yourself. What you think, what you say, what you do to others, and how you act towards what others say against you or to you. People are going to do what they're going to do no matter what. It's how you're going to deal with it that matters. Again, they talk about me. I don't really care. It doesn't bother me. I would rather be talked about in a positive way, but if they don't talk the truth, they're going to make stuff up. Visalia, I was there many years of my youth, and I personally have done nothing but give to people, and to this day they still talk about me on the north side. And you know what my nanny used to say, as long as they're talking, then you're doing something right, because apparently they're still spending their time discussing me. And again, they're going to see me in a different light. A lot of people think I think I'm a lot better than everybody else. I never have ever thought I was better. As a matter of fact, I've gone to those places where I've been before and I've moved away from to share and give money, to buy them gifts. And as soon as I leave, they make things up about me. They lie about me. But see, that's not my problem. That's why their lives are miserable, because they continue to lie. And I really feel for people that go out of their way to cause misery on others. Because when you do that and you sit there and intentionally, like God told me, what was your intention? When you sit there and intend to hurt another being, human being, or an animal, or a plant, anything, with a conscious decision to cause harm to anything, you're really going to pay the price. And it doesn't matter how far you run from it, because what you've already done, you have created some lashback. Karma is real. Karma can be good. Karma can be bad. Really, there is no bad. There is no good. It's experience. But whatever happens in your life is because you have created it. Why? By the choices you have made. The friends that you choose, the environment you hang around, the actions you do, the choices you make. You live by the sword, you die by the sword. When I was doing drugs and I was scoring drugs from the north side, you know what? I'd get burnt several times. Well, you know what? I wouldn't have gotten burnt if I wouldn't have been over there. And I wouldn't have been, actually my life has been in danger many times, many times, but I've always been a loner, and I never felt I needed protection by anybody, because somewhere deep inside of me, I knew that I was protected. And whoever truly knows me and who tells the truth knows that I have never stolen from them. I've never asked them for anything. If I did, I would always pay for it. And I think I've been one of the nicest people as far as when I was in my addiction. I think I was a pretty cool addict. Um, I've done things I do regret. I don't regret. I wish I would have made different decisions. But if I would have, then I wouldn't have the knowledge and the experience I have now. Um, my path isn't yours, and everyone else's path isn't yours either. Stop the judging, stop the hating, stop the gang banging. All you're doing is killing yourself. And the rich people, you know what they're doing? They're laughing. As they're pitting one gang and one city and state and country against the other, they allow that. You think these celebrities and these musical artists, you think they really like you when they talk about women and put women down? You think they really like you and you women are going along with these hoochie songs and you're degrading yourselves and presenting yourselves as these pieces of meat that can be bought and traded, and this twerking funny? It's not funny, ladies, because you're giving them exactly what they want. They're watching you degrade yourself, and yet you want to be called a woman and be respected. Respect is given by those who request it and demand it. Demand respect. And don't let people belittle you. And if they talk about you, get away from them. And the gang banging, come on, guys and girls, what are you doing? You're watching people being buried. You know how many people on my Facebook? It's like so many photos of so many children next to headstones. First of all, guys, let me share with you. They're not underneath that stone. They're not there anymore. Either they're going to reincarnate or some have evolved and they're doing work from the other, not the other side, it's just a higher dimension, a different dimension. And they're with you. They see you. They hear you. And a lot of them have cried out and said, please don't do this. Some of you get warnings from ones who have crossed over. And some of you guys, spend your time, funeral after funeral after funeral. Aren't you tired of burying your homies? Aren't you tired of watching your nieces and nephews and your aunts and your uncles and your mothers and your fathers die? When are you going to get it, guys? We are creating this. We're allowing the controllers to control us. As long as you buy their music, and most of those guys that talk about women, they're not even straight. They're gay. And I have nothing against being gay. Like I've said before, I have been that way, gay, straight. I don't like that way or labels because they're nothing but labels. I've been with men, I've been with women, I've been with black, I've been with white, I've been with Asian, I've been with Mexican, I've been with Portuguese. I'm Portuguese, I'm Irish, I'm a whole bunch of stuff. We're all the same. We all have the same heart. We all have the same blood. You skin us, we have the same thing underneath. You gut us, we have the same thing inside. The only thing different is our hearts. Our hearts are not the same. Where they should be, we should all love with the same measure. But you guys, there is no reason to keep killing each other and judging. And the music, you guys don't even get it. It is so brainwashing you. And as you're singing these songs, guess what you're doing? You're speaking that out into your future. Because whatever you think and meditate on and speak, that is you. And they have you so brainwashed by mind control. Wake up, people. If you don't wake up, it's going to be too late. And then you guys, we're already living in a police state. You guys are terrified of the cops. Why? Because you're allowing them to come in bigger and more powerful vehicles. You guys are allowing them to frisk you on the street. People aren't standing up for their rights. I'm not saying to fight them verbally. I'm saying make something of yourself and start showing love. When they drive by, wave at them. Respect them in their uniforms. They're not all bad, and they're not all good. The same thing with us. Not all Mexicans are nice. Not all blacks are nice. Not all Asians are nice. Not all Jews are nice, or Jewish people. I don't know. I don't want to get racism going here. But we get what we give out. And I'm asking you kids, please. If you've ever listened to anybody, first of all, love and respect your parents, your grandparents, and those people that are working hard to give you all those little things that you got. Start respecting the ones who give you everything. And stop wasting your time always looking in your phones. Have you ever looked up and seen the things in the sky? The stuff they're spraying to kill us? Have you guys even noticed the UFOs at night? They look like little stars. They fly by at night. No, because you're too busy. They've got you going like this. Or when you're not going like this, you're watching TV, or you're on the internet watching these new vines. Is it really that funny to watch people hurt others, or belittle each other? You guys, they have these terrible things slapping each other. You guys find amusement in this? Why don't you try putting your little sisters or your babies or your brothers or your mothers and the positions of the people you're watching and laughing get hurt? And maybe things would change. If we all realize that we're one and we're all a part of this big puzzle, and it's going to take every one of us to fix what's going on, and maybe you'll start making different decisions. I can't tell you what to do, and I'm not going to be here forever, but I've got a mission to do, and that's to help save the world and save the planet. And that's another thing. We're raping this planet of everything. Whether you want to believe it or not, this planet is your mother. Because just like a mother has breast milk, or if she doesn't breastfeed her baby, she gets the milk and feeds it to her child, this earth is housing every one of us. She provides water, she provides food, she provides shelter, she provides sun, she provides the rain. This is our mother. And if we don't take care of her, guess what happens? We're homeless, abandoned little orphans. And that's what we're becoming, because we're allowing the rich to get richer. And bottled water, guys, have you seen how many different bottled waters there are? There's a lot of fracking going on. Do you know what that is? Those are people going into our cities and our towns and our states, and they're stealing the water from us as we're too busy killing each other. And they're buying it for pennies a gallon when we're paying billions of dollars a year for bottled water, something that was free, something that comes from the rain, from the snow. But now they're even modifying that, guys. They're creating droughts. They're creating no rain. And when they do make it rain, look at the rain that's coming down. If you only knew the toxins and the chemicals that are in them, because they're man-made. Start educating yourself, guys. Get off the internet. Get out of your phones and start loving yourselves enough, because you guys are going to have these children. And what is going to be left here for them to live in? Look at Facebooks now. Look at YouTubes now. Is that really something you want to expose your child to? And another thing, guys, I'm watching adults dress their children up as gangsters with guns and hats and colors and all these things, guys. Come on. You want your child to die in a gang shooting? You want your child to shoot so you can visit them in prison and watch them die in there? They're just going to be another story. And people that belong to gangs and do drugs, they die. I have to go. My phone. Someone is at my door. And I love you guys, and I'll continue later. God bless.